Guys, welcome back to another video of the E92 M3 giveaway. It is day 2 of getting this car all dialed in for you guys. We have the team at Gyeon here, and in a little bit we're going to be talking about exactly what we're doing today. You can obviously, we're sitting inside the interior of the E92 M3. As you can see from the previous videos, this interior is actually in really good condition. We're going to make it even better. If you guys haven't seen the previous videos where we deconned it, polished the car, and also ceramic coated the car, check those videos out. You can really see the true depth into this color in those videos. We have Belair.
How you guys doing?
Did you get any rest? Sort of.
Sort of. Feels good though. Feels good. We made so much progress yesterday.
No, yeah, of course. And this looks incredible, right? You could kind of see my face in the paint, but today, what are we doing today?
So we're going to do kind of a general wrap up. So we're going to do just wheels in this, get them ceramic coated, and then start working on the interior.
All right, Reed. So some people that are probably thinking, hey, why didn't you guys take the wheels off, right?
Right.
And that all depends. Is that correct?
Absolutely. So a wheel like this that you can actually fit your hand in there into the barrel, you don't have to take them off. If maybe the wheels are already off the car and you can put them on the table or something to work on it, that's ideal. But you don't technically have to take the wheels off. Something like this we're able to do pretty easily. You know, we're able to touch the calipers as well, which we will put coating on. But yeah, it's not a mandatory step. I will say, you know, if you have the time, it's probably good practice to do so. But for this one, for a little bit of a time crunch here, being here for a limited amount of time, we're just going to do it with it still on the car.
Yeah, and the main thing is that you guys are trying to, you know, allow me to have my life back. I've been filming for the past so many days straight, and you know, I am a new father, so I have to be a father. But if these wheels were like a BBS LM or something that's more thin spoked, then obviously you would want to take the time to take them off and actually get in there, because it's difficult to get into the barrel.
Yeah, that's the main thing. You know, sometimes the spokes are so tight you can't even get in there properly. So
correct. And
that's why we typically just use a suede for doing this, you know, instead of like a microfiber block like we used on the paint.
And can you show them actually that, hey, you could actually stick your whole hand in there?
Right. I mean, you can go all the way to the back, you know, all the way to the back of the barrel pretty easily on these ones. You know, obviously it depends different on the front. When you have caliper clearance issues, sometimes you might have to like coat part of the wheel, roll the car so you can get in that area of the barrel that you can't reach with the calipers there. But yeah, stuff like that, I mean, that's an easy thing to do. So.
But yeah, again, time crunch and also getting it done, and these guys are getting that done, and it's gonna be done right. So. We are inside the E92 M3 giveaway. Reed's in the driver's seat, but he's not driving today. He's actually going to be doing a lot of cleaning. But Reed, what do we have going on?
So we're going to be hitting the steering wheel and the seats with leather cleaner milds, in addition with the scrub pad. This is essentially just a tool to allow you to scrub all this leather here. This one's actually not bad. I'm surprised. It's pretty good, but generally, if it's shiny, that means it's dirty. That's kind of a common misconception. There's a lot of wipes on the market and stuff that make stuff shiny, but we want a nice satin look that doesn't alter the feel on the steering wheel, because we're going to be driving it, right?
Correct, yeah.
Whoever gets this car is going to be driving it a lot. And then after we clean it, we're going to be using Leather Shield, which is actually a ceramic coating that's going to make future cleaning of the steering wheel and the seats that much easier.
It's also going to protect all your nasty, greasy hands. If you guys are the type of the person that eats fast food in the car, that's okay, because Leather Shield is going to help you guys out. One of the best things about this interior is that actually it's been well kept, regardless of how the exterior was with some of the, you know, blottiness of, you know, water spots. The interior is actually really good.
Pretty good.
One of the best things is that I haven't cleaned it ever since getting the car. So you might see a lot of dirt that comes off these seats. If you don't maintain the seats, you do see a lot of that stuff get built up from your jeans, right? Your pants, the dye in your natural clothes gets onto the leather. But also too, your sweat. We live in South Florida. I live in South Florida, and it does get hot and humid here. So a lot of that stuff gets onto your steering wheel and also your seats.
Yeah, for sure. Or if you accidentally spill something, whether it's, I don't know if you're drinking coffee in here or just like water or something, it allows you more time to get a towel and clean that up so it doesn't penetrate that leather.
So yeah, again, there's gonna be a lot of good information in this video. And also, if you haven't seen the previous videos with the decon wash, polishing the car, and also ceramic coating the car, check those videos out. You do see the changes from day one when they got here, right, which is yesterday. It's been a long 2 days. And also how it looks now, which is, again, the paint looks incredible. But now the interior is about to look incredible. So I'll let the guys here at Gyeon work their magic and enjoy the B-roll. All right, so Reed, as you're actually going through the steering wheel, you definitely see how dirty it is, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, look at all the dirt that's already being pulled off. And this is just like scrubbing, getting all that dirt and stuff that's embedded into the leather to basically float in the foam of the cleaner. And then we're gonna follow that up with a wipe on here. And I mean, just the first wipe, it's gross.
Yeah.
And it's funny because since it's being black leather, like a darker colored leather, it doesn't typically show the dirt very much. But you see that shine, and that's just basic, I mean, hand contamination, hand dirtiness, oils and stuff that's transferred from skin onto here. But it doesn't really show up until you clean it.
Yeah, and I do also want to mention too, leather itself, right? It is like skin. It's basically skin, right? It's animal skin, and just like you, especially if you have significant others that tell you to always put lotion on instead of being all ashy. Yeah, this is kind of like the same thing, right? Because you have to condition it if you want to maintain it. One thing too to note, I don't know what it's rated for steering wheels, but you definitely don't want to do this every week.
No, I don't recommend it. Basically, just clean it as necessary, and that's dependent on usage. Also, I want to point out that there is stitching on this, so you have to be conscious when scrubbing and stuff that you don't get too aggressive on the inside there. Also, don't forget about the back side of the wheel. Obviously, when you're cleaning from this position, you're not looking directly at the back side, but just don't forget about that. Back behind here by the paddle shifters and stuff. The most common areas to be dirtier are going to be in like the corners where your hands typically sit, or at the bottom, or at the top where your hands normally resting. But yeah, you don't need to do this every single time you wash the car. Maybe you can just keep an eye on it, and if you see a change in sheen or something like that, then you can address it then. And this leather cleaning product is great maintenance cleaner as well.
Well, I'm actually very impressed because like before you could definitely see it on the camera of how shiny it was, and has that, I guess you could say, greased out look.
Yep.
Now it actually has a very matted look. As you can see right now on both cameras, I'm very, very surprised. And this is a car that has an original steering wheel. So it's years of just gripping the steering wheel because all that naturally aspirated V8 makes you sweat,
Yeah, definitely the power in this thing, especially here at sea level. This power is real. It really is a thing. And I'm actually hitting it again because it's just, I'm sure I wasn't able to remove all of the grime and stuff on that first time. So hit it 2 or 3 times. If you're gonna go to a ceramic coating like we are, you wanna make sure that all of that dirt is removed from the leather.
Yeah, sometimes for me, like I didn't have that tool until you guys sent it over. And off camera, I haven't really, filmed a video about it. And I used it on my carbon bucket seats. And I was very surprised of how many, slight passes I need to remove that, sheen on it. Because naturally, like I said, your clothing dye, you naturally sweat. That is all porous, right? It gets into the leather seats.
Yep.
And for me, leather should not be shiny. I know back in the day, I used to have, my first car was a Mazda 3. I had no idea of how to take care of cars, and I would probably go to AutoZone and find what's on the shelf. And a lot of things that were off the shelf were Armor All, right? The stuff that you put onto the seat, and then you're slipping and sliding like it's like a water slide in there.
Yep, and one other thing I want to point out, I know you mentioned conditions earlier, and there's going to be multiple types of leather. There's going to be full aniline, which is essentially more raw leather, and that's going to be the only one that you need a true traditional conditioner to moisturize the leather, because there's no protective layer on top. Now, leather like this is gonna typically have a like polyurethane coating on it on the top layer, and that's gonna be just there to protect against UV damage and stuff like that. Over time on a car like this, that tends to deteriorate due to it being a pliable material, and then it needs an additional layer of protection on top, and that's why we're putting the coating on top. So leather like this, more like semi-aniline stuff, as well as fake leathers like vegan leather and the Tesla, we highly recommend doing a protective coating, especially like those white Tesla seats that even though they have a protective layer from the factory on there, a coating like this helps clean off dye transfer from wearing blue jeans or dark colored jeans on there, because it will show up over time.
No, I agree. I'm very surprised at how well it got.
Oh yeah, I mean, that's
Disgusting.
That's gross. And it's gonna be a little bit sticky now.
Yeah, it starts to dry.
It needs to sit, we might do a prep wipe on it just in case, just to make sure that it doesn't have any sort of that stickiness when we go to the coating.
I read, what is the famous prep wipe?
So prep is essentially a degreasing product. This is the step that you do right before applying a ceramic coating. And I will say on leather, it's not always mandatory, but in a climate like Florida's, it's a little bit more humid here. So we want to make sure that this cleaner that we just used on here is dry. And basically what it does, it removes any sort of oils or last cleaners that you've used, even though it is safe to go straight from this cleaner to the ceramic coating leather shield. We're going to do a precautious step with the prep just to make sure that any sort of oils, or maybe, it could even be the soap or detergent that you use to clean your towels, left a little residue on whatever you're going to coat. So this is just a safety measure to make sure that the coating is going to be bonding directly to the material, to the surface that you're putting it on.
And prep is also safe enough to use on leather.
Yes.
I think the misconception is like, I know when you first told me about it in the beginning, I was like, wait, are you using prep on leather?
Yeah.
I thought it would be like alcohol based.
Yep, and like typically with a product like this though, I would not spray it on the material. This you spray into a towel and then wipe off, just to moderate how much of that product is getting on the surface. But the other product that I would say I'd recommend is Interior Detailer. It's gonna be similar to prep, being an alcohol-based product, but this one's gonna be designed specifically for interior surfaces, kills bacteria, safe to use on windows, leather, all the surfaces that you'd find on the interior of a car. So this is Leather Shield, this is the actual coating we're gonna use.
And I guess the misconception of ceramic coating, it's a hard surface, right? Does that make your leather hard?
So no, this doesn't change alter the look or the feel of the leather. This one's gonna be it's gonna be a true ceramic coating for leather, meaning it has like SiO2 in it, but it's not gonna be the same as the paint coating. It's a different product. It's gonna be specifically designed to penetrate into pliable leather. And this one's you're not changing any sort of like breathability of the leather and stuff like that. But also, like I said before, we don't recommend this one on full aniline that actually needs to breathe.
All right, Reed, you're putting in the ceramic coating, right?
Yep, Leather Shield is going on.
Is there any tips or tricks for people to keep in mind when applying this stuff on?
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, like as with any ceramic coating, an even spread of the product is a good idea. So I'm actually gonna pull this guy out of here. And this is that foam block. This is that foam block that I mentioned earlier when talking about the wheel. So, what I like to do for this one is hit all the seams in the corners first with the suede, then put the suede on the block and just go back over all of these big surface areas to make sure that it's even on there.
Reed, we have a quick view, something
Yep.
that I haven't used yet.
Yep.
There's a reason why it's called quick, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's same idea as view, but this one actually has a little built-in applicator. So actually this contains the bottle, this contains a foam applicator, so it's everything you need to put it on the car. And then for removal of it off the windshield, we're gonna use a towel, which we'll show you later. But basically, there's enough liquid in here to do multiple cars. We're probably gonna hit every window in this car since we wanna do it properly. And all it's gonna take is a little bit of squeezing out the bottom here. And then you can see it, maybe not on camera, but the product is starting to seep into this foam here. And we wanna make sure that it just kinda spreads throughout the foam, because this foam is actually what we're gonna use to put on the glass.
All right, guys, we are pretty much done. It's been a day and a half. Right now it's about 1 o'clock. So they started yesterday morning at 8 o'clock and we are pretty much wrapping things up. We're gonna pull the car outside, look at it, making sure there's no high spots in any areas, but everything looks absolutely amazing. This car has took a big change. And Reed, what do you think?
It looks great. I'm gonna stay to my claim. Glossiest E92 at Orlando. Hold me to it, hold me to it.
Yeah, so again, I'm hoping to get all these videos out before, but if not, you'll see the car there at the Invasion of Orlando. And if it's not the glossiest one, let me know in the comments, so I'll screenshot it and
Tag me.
Blair and also read about it. Definitely want to thank the team over at Gyeon for coming to get this car, you know, pretty much looks brand new, right? Besides some of the rock chips that normally happens, right?
Yeah, and that's gonna happen at this mileage. But other than that, the condition of the paint, I mean, fenders, everything else is minty.
So other than that, I want to thank you guys for watching this video. Again, most of the giveaway information is gonna be down in the description. And we'll see you guys on the next video.